Welcome to the Magic Channel.
All right, today we're going to break down a really powerful poem, the Ballad of the Shrines. Now, this thing builds an entire world of conflict in just a few short stanzas. It's all about power, faith, and, the brutal truth that's hiding just under the surface. So, let's jump right in.
So right off the bat, the poem hits you with this huge, almost cinematic image. We're immediately thrown into this world with these massive, imposing structures. And listen, these are not your humble, quiet chapels. No way. These are monuments built right at the end of the roads, designed to be seen, to be heard. You've got these whitewashed walls screaming purity and these tall drums that just promise some huge, important ceremonies about to go down.
So yeah, this first part is all about setting the scene, a world absolutely dripping with pomp and power. And you gotta understand, this isn't about some quiet, personal faith. Oh no. This is an official, state-sponsored spectacle. The walls, the drums, all the rituals, it's all just one big, loud declaration of authority. It's pure performance, a show of holiness that's designed for everyone to see. And the whole point? For them to just accept it, no questions asked. But just when you're getting swept up in this big show, the poem throws a wrench in the works. It introduces this darker side. Listen to that phrase, borrowed light. That's so good. It's telling us that the king's power, it's not real, it's not their own, it's artificial, maybe even stolen. So while you have this shiny ceremony happening up top, the truth isn't just hidden, it's being actively buried deep in the ground. And that contrast, right there, that's the heart of the whole poem. It's basically a tale of two worlds. You've got the shiny facade, and then you have the brutal reality it's hiding. It's like every single symbol of holiness in this world has its dark twin, its ugly opposite. The poem says the sweet-smelling incense, it's just there to cover up a blood-red floor. They have rituals where milk is overflowing, but get this, not a drop reached the poor. So for every single public show of goodness, there's an equal and opposite act of cruelty happening just out of sight. So let's be real, this has nothing to do with genuine devotion or compassion. It's just theater. It's a performance, plain and simple, and it has two goals: make the powerful look legitimate and distract everybody from the massive injustice the whole system is built on.
And the poem gives us this perfect image for it. Behind the curtain, away from prying eyes, the people in charge are feasting on wine and meat. But right outside, mercy itself is literally starving to death, growing thin and pale. It's so clear. The luxury of the few is being paid for by the suffering of everyone else.
So you have to ask, right? If the rulers are just putting on a show, who's actually footing the bill? Well, the poem forces us to look past all that glamour, to the suffering unseen, to the voiceless people whose pain is just completely and deliberately ignored. And here's where we see what this whole society is built on. It is literally built on the backs of the working poor. That image of their backs as cracked bridges, wow. It's so powerful, isn't it? They're the ones holding everything up, the entire structure, and they are just breaking under the pressure. Their pain is the real price of those pretty whitewashed walls. And it gets worse. If the system doesn't care about the parents' backbreaking labor, you can bet it's completely deaf to their children's fears. These shrines, these places that are supposed to be holy and good, they offer zero comfort to the most vulnerable people in the society. And those loud drums from the beginning, now we see what they're really for. They're a tool to drown out the sounds of all this suffering. Man, this next line is just devastating. It really shows you this isn't just a tough time, it's a completely hopeless cycle that gets passed down from one generation to the next. The injustice runs so deep that it just crushes the spirits of the young people. Think about that. Their hopes are broken, and their prayers feel old and worn out before they've even really started living. Just awful. Okay, so with all this suffering, you have to wonder, where are the gods in all this? And that's exactly where the poem goes next. It starts to make this really deep critique by comparing two totally different kinds of gods. We're talking gods carved, not born, a tale of two divinities. So first, you have the gods of the shrines. And let's be clear, these aren't living, breathing beings. They're just carved statues. They're man-made props for the political show. They've got these open eyes, but the poem says they never saw the bleeding land, so they're completely blind. They're just empty idols that let the real demons, the corrupt rulers, dress up in holy robes and get away with it. But then the poem does a complete 180. It offers this totally radical alternative. It says somewhere out there, way beyond the noisy shrines, there's a different kind of God, a quiet God who waits right there in the middle of human pain. This God isn't a statue. It's not fancy or powerful. It's uncarved, unnamed, and all alone. This, the poem argues, is a God of empathy, not a God of power. So if the whole system is corrupt and the gods are fakes, is there any hope? You might think not, but the poem doesn't leave us in despair. Actually, it ends with this incredible prophecy of change, a vision for when justice finally speaks. So here's the roadmap the poem gives for how things get better. First, real justice shows up, but it's not wearing a crown. Second, true holiness isn't in a big building. It's in the compassion that actually kneels down beside the weak. And it's only when those values take over that the false shrines, all that pomp and circumstance, will finally fall to dust. And that's when the true God, that quiet one we talked about, will at last be heard. So really, the whole point of the poem is this radical idea of what's actually sacred. It just strips away all the gold and stone and empty ceremonies and says, look, what's truly holy isn't power or rituals, it's justice, it's compassion. It's that spark of the divine that we can only find in each other. So in the end, the poem forces us to look at the line between a carved God and a true one. And that leaves us with a really big question to think about, one that goes way beyond this poem. When does any powerful idea, like a nation, a religion, even an ideology, stop being a guide and start becoming one of these empty shrines? And what really is the difference between a powerful idea that serves people and one that demands people serve it? Something to think about. Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to deconstruct a protest poem that asks a really tough question. What happens when the people in charge are the ones actually causing all the harm? We're going to break down how this poem uses language to tell this incredible story of a society falling apart, of deep inequality, and the fight over who even gets to define words like justice and terror. Okay, let's just dive right into the heart of the poem's challenge. This quote, it really sets the stage for everything. It's this bold accusation that just flips our whole world upside down. It argues that in a system that's completely broken, the line between hero and villain, well, that's just decided by whoever has the most power. So to really get that provocative idea, you first have to see the world this poem is painting for us. And what's interesting is the poem doesn't start with protests or shouting. Nope, it starts with this really haunting picture of a society where everything you're supposed to count on has just collapsed. So the poem just starts listing these failures, one after another, almost like a checklist of despair. It kicks off with education, the very foundation of any hope for the future. And this isn't just a minor complaint, it's like the very first domino to fall in this long, sad line of decay. And this is such a key move, because it shows the breakdown isn't happening in just one place. From schools, it pivots right to hospitals. So the places you'd turn to for knowledge and the places you'd go for healing, they're both failing. It just makes the crisis feel absolutely overwhelming. Then it goes for the jugular. It attacks that core promise we're all told. If you follow the rules, you study hard, you'll have a future. But here, that promise is shown to be a complete and utter lie. So you've got a whole generation of people with skills and drive and absolutely nowhere to go. And this right here is what makes the poem hit so hard. It isn't just some abstract political commentary. It becomes gut-wrenchingly personal. We're talking about heart patients literally dying in line. People so hungry they lose their dignity. The kind of despair that drives people to the absolute edge. These are the real, devastating consequences. So now the poem shifts gears. After showing us all of this suffering, it draws a sharp line in the sand. It's not just about a failing system anymore. Now it's about a system that seems to be failing some people while working out great for others. I mean, just look at this. The poem just slams these two realities together. On one side, you've got total desperation, people drinking salt water as medicine. And on the other, pure privilege, rulers sleeping in fancy private hospital rooms, people literally running on broken feet while the powerful just cruise by in luxury. The poem isn't just saying things are unequal, it's screaming that this is a world of cruel, deliberate indifference. Okay, so the grievances are all laid out. The society is broken, and there's this giant chasm between the haves and the have-nots. So now the narrative pivots. It's not just about describing the suffering anymore. It's about what happens when you finally refuse to stay silent about it. Now, look at the actions they're describing here. This isn't a violent revolution. It's just simple, direct demands for basic fairness. That repetition of yes almost sounds like a proud confession, doesn't it? Yes, we did this. Yes, we asked for what was right. It's a defense of their actions as being completely and totally reasonable.
And then the poem lays out this really clear, chilling progression of events. It's like a formula. You start with a reasonable demand. You keep standing up for what's right. Then they meet you with force, what the poem calls hired fear. And for doing all of that, you get branded with a dangerous, dehumanizing label. And this is the poem's knockout punch. It's where the entire argument just comes to a head. The speaker doesn't try to deny the label terrorist. Nope. Instead, in this incredible act of defiance, they grab control of it and redefine it completely on their own terms.
It's like the poem is writing its own dictionary entry here. See, in this new world, a terrorist isn't a person who uses violence. It's a historian. It's a storyteller who speaks truth to power. The word that was meant to be an insult is completely transformed into a symbol of courage. This final defiance statement just brings the whole thing home. It completes the transformation. You see how the word terrorists is in quotes now? That's intentional. It signals that this word has a new, reclaimed meaning. The poem argues that real progress, the actual rebuilding of a nation, is done by the very same people the powerful tried so hard to silence. And in the end, that's the thought the poem really leaves us with. It's a deep, kind of unsettling question, right? It forces you to think about how words themselves can become weapons, how labels are used to justify all sorts of things, and how just the act of redefining a word can be a revolutionary act all on its own. It's a ballad not just about protest, but about the incredible power of language in the fight for justice.
Thank you for watching.